The Fireball is one of the best hero equipment you can use for 3 stars, so let's break down the Fireball from the very basics to help you 3-star against most bases. Firstly, why should you use the Fireball? While it's not a spam attack equipment, its main power is from its ability to funnel a large area or clear out the core very easily with the help of invisibility spells and earthquake spells. This enables your Warden to go from a full support to a main DPS troop or DPS support unit for your attacks. Now, to fully utilize the Fireball, having this around level 24 is its minimum level. Level 24 gives your Fireball a 6-tile radius to reach more buildings while doing a solid 3,900 damage to all buildings in said radius. When paired with 2 earthquake spells, you can remove all defenses, including the CC, no matter your Town Hall level, with the exception of the Super Wizard Tower. You can also get away with a level 18 Fireball for players around Town Hall 12 to Town Hall 14. As for the equipment to pair it with, the Rage Gem is the only option you should consider using. Since the Warden is often paired with a healing unit, such as healers or druids, the Rage Gem actually buffs their troop and hero healing, allowing your Warden to survive a bit longer. This additionally buffs the DPS of your other troops and heroes while letting the Warden attack faster and do increased damage with both equipment's DPS increase stat. With the Fireball being commonly used with a Warden Walk or Warden Charge, pets play a significant role in getting value. The Angry Jelly often is the best option if you have access to it. It enables your Warden to target defenses for the first 35 seconds. However, this pet enables you to use the Fireball without the Ice Block spell, as there are trash buildings behind him that can act as anchor buildings. Sneezy is another pet you can use to tank incoming damage from defenses like the multi-archer tower or scatter shots, but it comes at a cost of needing to use the Ice Block spell to keep him in place. If you have none of these pets, the Unicorn is usually preferred for the additional healing, or the Electro Owl for the additional chain damage. From here, you need to bring the best spells that pair perfectly with the Fireball. That said, the invisibility spells and earthquake spells are easily the 2 best spells to bring. You should have no more than 4 invisibility spells and 2 earthquake spells to target and clear out defenses. You additionally have other spells to keep the Warden alive and get the Fireball into the base. Using an Ice Block spell can often be a great option if you need a way to keep the Warden from moving, especially if there are no storages around. With its 7-second duration and 94% damage reduction, take advantage of it to send the Fireball into the base. You additionally can use the totem spells to force defenses near the totem to retarget to it. This keeps damage off of your Warden as he moves into the base to set up the Fireball. As for the range of the Fireball, it will often depend on the target building size, between 2x2, 3x3, and 4x4 buildings. So on screen is the furthest range for each of them, starting with the 2x2 buildings like Inferno Towers or Spell Towers, 3x3 buildings, which are the most common of all and the easiest to hit, and 4x4 buildings, such as the Town Hall or Eagle Artillery. Anything caught within the max radius of each building will be hit by the Fireball guaranteed. Now, I and other creators have been asked, what buildings do you need to target with the Fireball? Well, this often depends on the army you're using and if you're running a Warden Charge or simply using the Fireball to set the funnel. Regardless of said opening, if there are Rage or Invisibility Spell Tower compartments, those are often worth using the Fireball on, as they usually have key defenses surrounding them, allowing your Fireball to get maximum value. However, other buildings that can get you value with the Fireball include high DPS defenses, like the Revenge Tower, or removing the enemy CC if possible. If you're just using the Warden and the Fireball to funnel, simply look for an area of the base to quickly clear that has some decent defenses like the Scattershot, Monolith, Spell Towers, or even a Fire Spitter. In this case, you are getting some value, but your main goal is to set up funneling for your troops like Throwers, Meteor Golems, or even Super Witches. With the knowledge of what you need to bring and how to use the Fireball, there are a few mistakes to avoid making while using said Fireball. No matter if you're using a Warden Walk or Warden Charge, use a troop to scout for traps and Teslas. Balloons are perfect for doing both, as it can scout for air traps, but can also lure Teslas out. A cheaper alternative to pulling Teslas is simply a Barbarian, due to it having the highest HP for a single housing space. If you're using a Warden Charge, having an anchor point is ideal to keep the Warden from walking around. This means if you're using the Angry Jelly, you can have trash buildings behind him become the anchor point. But if you're not using the Angry Jelly, resource storages can also work with their high HP, or just simply use an Ice Block spell if those don't exist. And when using invisibility spells, don't get too greedy if the buildings are separated too far from each other. You want to be sure the invisibility spells are able to turn the buildings invisible. So using the invisibility spells on 1 to 3 defenses that are all near each other can enable the fireball to go in the right direction and not miss. Now that you have the basics of the fireball down, let's give you some examples of how to pair the fireball within a Warden Walk and Warden Charge. If you're using the fireball within a Warden Walk, you are often using it to set up funneling. So this is where you want to use the Warden to kind of clear trash buildings while you're using the invisibility spells over nearby defenses to send the fireball in, and 2 earthquake spells to remove the target building and anything around the radius. This allows you to clear out a solid funnel for your main smash push, like in this case being throwers. We're also able to clear a rage spell tower, since it's really nice to clear a lot of key defenses around it. Obviously, we want to lure over the Warden with our throwers, and using the Queen with her action figure and magic mirror with the siege barrack to set up proper funneling. This is going to allow us to get our throwers into the base with the help of the Barbarian King tanking and opening walls, while using super wall breakers to get a little bit deeper into the base. Ideally, we want to make sure that we are getting right through the middle portion of the base, so we're able to use poison spells to deal with the enemy's CC, totem spells to distract high DPS defenses like the monolith, but also to distract the CC. But as we work in, we have the Royal Champion that can be used within the base, also using the Barbarian King Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots to open it up, and the freeze from the Frost Flake allows us to keep our throwers alive for the most part and get fantastic value. Any leftover totem spells we can use with the Royal Champion or the throwers, but overall, you more than likely should have more than enough of the throwers alive. You should have maybe the Royal Champion alive, which is why the Frost Flake can be a fantastic tool for your attacks in supporting, but otherwise, this strategy takes full advantage of the fireball in funneling and how you can use it to create great pathing for your troops. Now, if you're using a Warden Charge, the fireball is aimed for the core of the base to get value. In this situation, our Warden Charge is mainly focusing on defenses thanks to the Angry Jelly. The Angry Jelly provides really nice value for situations like this, where you want to mainly focus on defenses so you're able to get towards the core a little bit more reliably. As you slowly but surely chip away at defenses, you will need to find ways to keep your Warden alive, since he is targeting defenses, so he's going to be taking a bit more damage. This is where we can use totem spells to distract, but we can also use a rage spell to power up the healers further, which is better than what the rage gem provides, but also allowing him to clear through much easier. This allows us to clear as many of the nearby defenses as possible before then using the invisibility spells and the 2 earthquake spells with the fireball to target the core of the base to smash most of it down. This also then allows us to use a recall spell. This army is Itsu's Yeti Furnace Fireball strategy, which is incredibly fun and I heavily recommend it, but obviously you're using the Warden and the Recall on a different side with the furnaces to set up proper pathing and just to keep him alive. This is where then you have the Yetis to set up funneling for your main hero dive push with the log launcher. This is why you've got Ice Golems to provide a bit more tanking, the Barbarian King to start working in, the Archer Queen as well to follow right behind. You could even use an Earthquake spell to power up the log launcher as you work a little bit deeper into the base. Keep in mind is that if you're dealing with an Invis tower, you can also have that log log launcher activate it for you. But you do want to make sure that you're using spells to distract things like the Revenge Tower, because that's going to do a lot of damage. So having it placed in such a way to avoid too much damage is going to be ideal. Otherwise, you can use the Royal Champion to provide support for your main heroes with her Frostflake. This is going to slow down all those buildings and allow you to guarantee damage on them without them attacking you. Otherwise, you just want to make sure that you are using cleanup troops to clear through other defensive buildings, to clear through trash buildings, and having your Royal Champion, maybe with the help of some headhunters to deal with an enemy king, can also help too. Your Archer Queen is typically going to be around the core of the base, being able to clear out defenses, and can usually be the last one remaining alive with the Royal Champion. Otherwise, just make sure that you are providing cleanup as soon as possible so you don't end up time failing, and you'll often 3-star with this strategy. With the meta moving towards Fireball armies, it only makes sense to show the power of this equipment and how you can master it for more 3-stars. If you like to check out which other equipment are also the best and worst, check this video out, but YouTube says you might like this one too.